this video, let us learn about service design. IT Service Continuity Management, ITSCM, Goals and Objectives. As technology is a core component of most business processes, continued or high availability of IT is critical to the survival of the business as a whole. This is achieved by introducing risk reduction measures and recovery options. Like all elements of IT service management, successful implementation of the ITSCM process can only be achieved with senior management, commitment, and the support of all members of the organisation. Ongoing maintenance of the recovery capability is essential if it is to remain effective. Service continuity is an essential part of the warranty of a service. If a service's continuity cannot be maintained and/or restored in accordance with the requirements of the business, then the business will not experience the value that has been promised. Without continuity, the utility of the service cannot be accessed. ITSCM focuses on those events that the business considers significant enough to be treated as a disaster. Less significant events will be dealt with as part of the incident management process. What constitutes a disaster will vary from organisation to organisation. The impact of a loss of a business process, such as financial loss, damage to reputation, or regulatory breach, is measured through a BIA exercise, which determines the minimum critical requirements. The specific IT, technical, and service requirements are supported by ITSCM. The scope of ITSCM within an organisation is determined by the organisational structure, culture and strategic direction, both business and technology, in terms of the services provided and how these develop and change over time. The goal of ITSCM is to support the larger business continuity plan. Its objectives are to ensure IT service continuity plan and recovery plan is in alignment of overall business continuity plan (BCP) of the organisation. Ensure regular business impact analysis (BIA) happens so that all continuity plans remain in line with changing business needs. Regular risk assessments. The point to remember here is the scope of ITSCM includes resources, people as well. The ITSCM process includes the agreement of the scope of the ITSCM process and the policies adopted, BIA to quantify the impact loss of IT service would have on the business, risk assessment and management, the risk identification and risk assessment to identify potential threats to continuity and the likelihood of the threats becoming reality. This also includes taking measures to manage the identified threats where this can be cost justified. The approach to managing these threats will form the core of the ITSCM strategy and plans. Production of an overall ITSCM strategy that must be integrated into the BCM strategy. This can be produced following the BIA and the development of the risk assessment and is likely to include elements of risk reduction as well as selection of appropriate and comprehensive recovery options. Production of an ITSCM plan, which again must be integrated within the overall BCM plans. Testing of the plans. Ongoing operation and maintenance of the plans. IT Service Continuity Management, ITSCM Key Activities. The figure shows the life cycle of ITSCM from initiation through to continual assurance that the protection provided by the plan is current and reflects all changes to services and service levels. ITSCM is a cyclic process through the life cycle to ensure that once service continuity plans have been developed, they're kept aligned with business continuity plans and business priorities. The figure also shows the role played within the ITSCM process of BCM. Here is an example of business impact. A money market dealing environment where loss of market data information could mean that the organisation starts to lose money immediately as trading cannot continue. Loss of the settlement system does not prevent trading from taking place, But if trades already conducted cannot be settled within a specified period of time, the organisation may be in breach of regulatory rules or settlement periods and suffer fines and damaged reputation. This may actually be a more significant impact than the inability to trade because of an inability to satisfy customer expectations. This is a classic example where ITSCM plans can be invoked. Info Security Management, ISM Goals and Objectives. The goal of information security management is to align IT security with business security and ensure that information security is effectively managed in all services and service management activities. Its objective is to provide the interests of those relying on information systems and communications. The scope of information security management includes all IT systems and services. It is also essential to know that information security is a critical part of the warranty of a service. If the security of a service's information and information processing cannot be maintained at the levels required by the business, then the business will not experience the value that has been promised. Without information security, the utility of the service cannot be accessed. You must understand that information security management needs to be considered within the overall corporate governance framework. And if you think, what is corporate governance? Then it is the set of responsibilities and practices exercised by the board and executive management with a goal of providing strategic direction, ensuring the objectives are achieved, ascertaining the risks are being managed appropriately, and verifying that the enterprise's resources are used effectively. Info Security Management Key Terms. Here are 4 key terms you need to know about the info security. Confidentiality. Information can only be accessed by those authorised. Integrity. Information is complete, accurate and protected against unauthorised modification. Availability. Information is available and can be used when required. Authenticity and non-repudiation. Information exchanges between parties can be trusted. Info Security Management Key Activities. The key activities of info security management is maintaining and managing information security policy, produced and maintained, communicate and published, enforcement or adherence, promote awareness. Business Impact Analysis, BIA. Security controls, maintain, review and audit. Security incidents, impact and volumes, security reviews. SLAs and statutory requirements. Assess changes, CAB. Access, external partners and suppliers. Focal point for security issues. Supplier management goals and objectives. The goal of supplier management is to manage suppliers and the services they supply, to provide seamless quality of IT services to the business, ensuring value for money is obtained. The supplier management process should include all the management of all the suppliers and contracts needed to support the provision of IT services to the business. The main objectives of the supplier management process are to obtain value for money from suppliers and contracts, ensure that contracts with suppliers are aligned to business needs and support and align with agreed targets in SLRs and SLAs in conjunction with SLM. Manage relationships with suppliers. Manage supplier performance. Negotiate and agree contracts with suppliers and manage them through their life cycle. Maintain a supplier policy and a supporting supplier and contract management information system, SCMIS. Supplier management works hand in hand with SLM for SLA negotiation and vendor selection. Supplier management key activities. Here are some key activities which are done by the supplier management process. Implementation and enforcement of the supplier policy. Maintenance of an SCMIS. Supplier and contract categorization and risk assessment. Supplier and contract evaluation and selection. development, negotiation and agreement of contracts, contract review, renewal and termination, management of suppliers and supplier performance, identification of improvement opportunities for inclusion in the CSI register and the implementation of services and supplier improvement plans, maintenance of standard contracts, terms and conditions, management of contractual dispute resolution, management of subcontracted suppliers, supplier management key role. Supplier manager is the key role within this process and takes care of activities like SLAs, contracts, agreements, etc., providing assistance in the development and review of SLAs, contracts, agreements, or any other documents for third-party suppliers. Suppliers and Contracts Database, SCD. Maintaining and reviewing a Supplier and Contracts Database, SCD. Dispute resolution, termination, transfer, reporting and improvement. Contract and performance review. In this session, you have learnt about goals, objectives and business value of service design, the 4 Ps of service management, service design lifestyle, 5 key aspects of service design, different types of service design processes,